Everybody thinks they need money to get started, but what if you can just get smart capital? Because I didn't have any money when I got started. I used smart capital. I used credit. I used the difference between good debt and bad debt. I leveraged good debt, and that's how I got started. And I compounded that sucker a million times. Once I realized that's number one.
Hello, you're listening to Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast, presented by Brandon Elliott. This show will be going over all aspects of real estate investing and is intended to educate, motivate, and prepare you to take action on your first or next real estate investment. For more information, please visit BrandonElliottInvestments.com. Thank you for listening and enjoy.
All right. Well, welcome everyone. Excited to be with you guys today. It's going to be epic. I'm excited to be with you guys today. So if you have not already hit that subscribe button to Ready, Set, Go REI podcast, that's Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast, then what you're going to want to do is stop what you're doing. Wherever you listen to your podcast episodes, hit that subscribe button. You will get the newest notification every single Monday when that new podcast drops. And then leave that 5-star review after listening to a few of them. What that does is let us know and the algorithm know to share this out with more people. At the end of the day, we've been doing this for 8+ years, over 450 episodes later. We are all geared towards educating, motivating, and preparing you to take massive action in real estate, as well as in business, as well as in credit, because it is the foundational pieces that should have been taught in school, should have been taught at the dinner table. It wasn't, but it does not mean that it's your fault, but it does remind us that it is our problem, right? And so if it's meant to be, it's up to you and me. I'm here to teach you the facts, the truth, and what can be done with the power of credit. And I'm talking about massive amounts of credit, getting the banks to say yes versus wasting your time. We're going to have a lot of fun today and excited to be with you guys. Again, hit the subscribe button, share this out, tag somebody in it that needs to see it, share this with a friend, business partner, whoever. Significant other. Comment below where you guys are coming in from, and are you using credit to be able to scale your business? Do you have a business right now, or goals, ideas, and dreams that you want to start, but you realize you have no money for it and you need money for it, right? You might have a little bit, which is good, but how are you going to compound that little bit to turn it into something great to be able to actually get some traction going, right? There's power behind all this. We're going to have a lot of fun today. I'm excited for you, and we're going to give you guys a heck of a deal this week. All right? We're going to have an incredible deal for those who qualify. And what you're going to want to do is write this down right now. Go to CCE, that's Credit Counsel Elite. So CCE events.live/call. Okay? That's CCE events, EVENTS dot, that's a period, live, LIVE /call. And then jump on there. There's a couple questions to be answered. I'm going to tell you all about this. I'm going to talk about, first and foremost, why us and how we are not the same. We are not the same. Look, there have been a lot of people coming on that I've been speaking to lately, and it's very common for somebody that's uneducated or not aware or seeing us for the very first time saying, hey, Brandon, there's a million of you guys out there. And I get it. You think that we're a credit repair company. You think that we're just a funding company. You think that we take 10% or more on the back end. You think that, we just do this or this, and that we fit in some small little box like all these other copycats out there. And I totally get it. For somebody from, 30,000 foot view back, I understand what you're saying here. This is what I want to encourage and realize, that we are not the same. We are not the same by any means. We're not. We are not the same. Most companies out there in this space, they're selling you get funding. They're selling you fixing credit. They're selling you business credit. They're selling you authorized users. They're selling you aged entities like shelf corps, right? They're selling you 0% interest. They're selling you access to capital. They're selling you bank relationships. They're selling you hopes and dreams and so forth. And I can tell you this, that a lot of these guys are trying to do one or the other, or just one simple thing. We have this all dialed into one umbrella, like one stop shop to really make this a very profound example, because this is exactly what I needed. And this is exactly what I did and dealt with back in 2011. 2011 is how long I've been doing this, how I put in the 10,000, 20,000 hours towards learning and understanding and implementing credit, finances, FICO scores, banking, what the rich have been doing for a very, very long time. For a very long time. And I was using it all for the good, with getting a lot of money and moving things around with credit from 2011 to 2015. Slow and steady and doing wild things, right? 2015 is where I changed my life. In 2015, I started using all of this credit, smart capital, not dumb capital, smart capital, and getting 0% interest and putting it to work into real estate. And it slowly started compounding to the point where I was able to leave my job. I was able to make 3 times, 4 times the amount that I was making per month from my job before I left. I was able to get enough cash flow to feel good and comfortable and confident that I didn't need to be at my job. And I was able to get to a position of starting to live my life on my own design, right? And be able to start dreaming a little bit bigger, next level to things, right? But sitting in that pocket for a little bit to feel comfortable. What I can tell you is this: that compounded years and years and years into the making. And now we own $14 million worth of real estate assets. We collect $50,000 a month, whether I decide to wake up or not, whether I decide to go to work or not, whether I decide to spend the whole month traveling the world or not. And we've been able to have $4.3 million in equity. We have $1 million in tax credits and cost segregations and Augusta rule and real estate professional and all these other techniques and strategies to be able to remove and mitigate a lot of depreciation and risk and so forth, to be able to lower taxes. Thank God, all because of real estate. And so at the end of the day, we are not the same as all these other guys. We've been doing this for far too long. In 2017 is when we started teaching other people, not because we just took a course, we just read a book, we just, we saw other people doing it and then we started teaching it. No. We didn't take some course and then do it over the weekend. No, we didn't do that. We've been doing this since 2011 and then changing our lives in 2015. And then in 2017, the reason I got started teaching other people this was because it drove me crazy seeing so many people's hands go up saying like, hey, I want to do real estate. It was really 2 pieces. They all said, hey, I want to do real estate, but I need to make money first. And once this is successful over here doing whatever I'm doing, then I'll take that money and I'll put it over here to get real estate. And I was like, what if that doesn't work out? What if that isn't successful? What if it takes 5-10 years? What if you can't buy that time back? What if you never get started into real estate because of that? Everybody thinks they need money to get started, but what if you can just get smart capital? Because I didn't have any money when I got started. I used smart capital. I used credit. I used the difference between good debt and bad debt. I leveraged good debt. And that's how I got started. And I compounded that sucker 1,000,000 times. And so once I realized that's number one, that's a big key component of why people are slowing down and they're not taking action. But the second piece was looking at the whole scope of things and seeing some of my best friends, some of my really good friends getting screwed over by some of these do-it-for-you companies where they'll charge an arm and a leg. They'll charge 10, 20, 30%. It's crazy. That adds up way too much. Way too much, And then the results were small. They were tiny. And then they were getting referred over to somebody else to do credit repair and remove those hard inquiries they just blasted out. Just because some Joe Schmo down the street ended up having the guts and the balls to just blast out all these applications because it wasn't his profile. He didn't care. So therefore, you start seeing all these track records of people getting bad results, messing up their credit profile, having to pay more, really backtracking, taking a very long time, not enough communication, understanding, transparency. They're lost, they're confused, and then they have to go back and back and back to the same person later on because, hey, they need more capital or they have more issues. They're still being basically breastfed here instead of actually taught the skills and the tools to be able to implement on their own. So They're renting the machine versus owning the system. And so we realize that, like, man, that's crazy. That's got to stop, because if you can get 50,000, which to a lot of those other companies, that's a big deal. They barely can get that. If you can get 50,000, trust me, you can get 500,000. And that's the key component that most people just don't realize, they don't understand, and it drives them crazy, you know? So with us, unfortunately, not everyone qualifies. Not everyone qualifies. Not everyone qualifies. Not everyone should actually move right now and move forward with us or with anybody at the time if their stuff is really jacked up, even their situation, if it's really jacked up. Not every funding move is smart at the end of the day. Not every capital source is equal. Okay? There's numerous products. There's over 400 different products from these banks and lenders. And if you don't understand that, then, and you don't understand the rules, then it's like you don't know what's going to be the best tool for you. So not every capital source is equal. Not every person needs the same path. Okay? There's a lot of, think of it like a thumbprint. Like, everybody's thumbprint is different. Everybody's credit application sequence is going to be different. You can't just find some kind of script online from some Joe Schmo saying, hey, do it in this order. No, that's not going to work, because of your age, because of your location, because of your bank history, because of the banks that you have, because of how long you've had those banks, because of how many products and services you have with that bank or all those banks, because of how much money's in the account, the average balance, the money going in, the money going out, the number of transactions, the movement over the last 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, or even 6 months, the contacts you have, the resources you have, the business industry you're in, the SIC codes you have, the name of the industry, the LLC or the corporation you have, what state is it in? All these things matter, and it's going to be different. Your stuff will be different than mine. So therefore, my script, my application sequence isn't going to be the same as yours. And that's important to realize. So most companies like sell some dream. Instead, we build the right path, protect the profile because it's very critical, it's very crucial. And then we help execute the plan, okay? It's very critical for you to understand that. We're trying to position our members for the best possible outcome at the end of the day. I want to set up all of our team so that you are getting up to 90% approval odds, so that you're not winging it. You're not wasting time. Time is the biggest asset for me. Once you start making money, you start realizing, like, man, I barely have that much time. If you have no money, typically you have more time, right? You have more time. But in today's day and age, it's so easy to get caught up and busy anyway. You're just not prioritizing the right things. IPAs, income producing activities, not the beers, IPAs. I'm talking income producing activities. So usually, again, when you're broke and you have no money, you got time. You can screw around. You can be on the stoop. You can be playing video games. You can be on social media. You can be scrolling. You can be watching TV, Netflix, and chilling. You can be doing all those things, right? But when you start making money, you have a business, you got people, you got employees, you got like things going on, you got problems, you're solving problems, you stay busy, right? So you have less time. You start realizing, man, time is my biggest asset. I would pay so much to be able to get some of that time back. And when you start realizing that, then you start elevating and delegating. You start hiring out other people to be able to handle and manage certain things that are better than you, that are faster than you, that can do it with more excellence, that are more passionate about those things. Like, that stuff matters. And it's very, very critical for you to realize that is what it's going to take to be able to get to that next level. You hire on the best of the best to be able to help you get to that next level, right? But I can tell you this, we are not the same as all these copycats out there. Back in 2017, when I started and started teaching people, there's very few doing it. Now there's over 20,000 others in the space. And I do not kid you this. We've helped out over 4,000 members. I see a lot of our members that have used us in the past, that have gone through us over the years, that start running their own ads and putting their own logo over top of our stuff and start teaching and doing all this wild stuff. And I could tell you that they haven't put in the time, energy, efforts, or the information. They might have been successful for their own stuff, but they're not to the point of understanding how to do it for others with the excellence and the level. That's why they're only doing, 50 to 150,000 they're claiming. But with all the data that we've had over the years, what I can tell you is this, that we get incredible results and we are not the same, okay? The results speak for themselves. So let me share my screen for a second. I want to show you guys what I'm talking about. I want to show you what I'm talking about, all right? And what you can do is go to if you want to have a call with us, this is a free complimentary call. You go to CCE, that's Credit Counsel Elite, CCE events.live/call. Okay, do that right now. Otherwise, I'm going to hook you up with something super special. But this is if you qualify, right? And let me just explain some of the qualifications here, right? Because we are a premium service. We are a premium. We're not trying to be the cheapest. We're not trying to help out everybody. We're trying to help out the people that have had enough and want to draw the line in the sand and say, this is it. I'm doing this to the next level. We're gonna take this down, right? That's who I want to help out. So your FICO score needs to be 700 and above. Okay. Can we help out people in the 500s, 600s? Of course we can. Okay. Our best members that don't give up, that don't complain, that don't like have all these headaches, they're in the 700s and above. Why? Because it just moves quicker. There's faster process. The fix isn't holding them back. We can get to the funding process faster, right? So if you're at 700 FICO score or above, excellent. We want to work with you. If you have no business, then it's no good. All right. We've helped out plenty of people that are working a 9 to 5, and that's excellent. And we can help you. If you have goals, dreams, and ambitions to do something, excellent. What I can tell you is this, that there is levels to success. There's levels to business. And you could be working a 9 to 5 and love your job or hate your job, either or. If you want funding and you want it for diversifying, growing, scaling, learning this information, then you're going to have some initiative. You're going to have some ambition to really take it to the next level, right? Usually entrepreneurs that have been there and done it, they've got their face kicked in a few times, their teeth pushed in. You know what I'm saying? Like it takes some grit to be able to do some of this stuff, because if it was easy, everybody and their grandmother in the neighborhood would have already done it, right? But because it's not, it's well worth it. It's well worth fighting for, okay? And they don't want you to understand this information out there. That's why it's not taught, right? But it is very logical. It's very common sense when you actually understand the rules, okay? There's 45 different metrics. But yeah, ideally you have a business. Ideally you have opportunities that are passing you by that you're missing out on, right? That you can take and capitalize on. If you don't, then we have deals for you and investment opportunities that you can invest in real estate with us. Your lowest credit card limit on the personal side, it's got to be above 1,000. Anybody with less than 1,000, the banks are looking at your credit profile, and before they give you any funding or approve you, they're looking at it and they're seeing, wow, this bank you already have a relationship over here doesn't even trust you with $1,000. How could we? So you got to get your credit limits up higher. No, you don't need to do secured cards, okay? But you do got to get these credit limits up higher, okay? Is it impossible? And do we have members that no, it's not impossible. And yes, we've helped out plenty of people that are under 1,000 get higher, but it's just, I want to be able to check off the boxes with you to make it the easiest thing possible. Okay. So 700 plus FICO score, have a good job, a great business with something that you have your eyes on and your goal on the prize, that you're missing out on capital. And if you had funds like this at 0% interest, smart capital, you could actually make some strong returns off of it. Okay. Your lowest limit credit card, ideally being above 1,000, 5,000, 10,000. That would be incredible. Okay. Ideally, you have 10,000 to 20,000 saved up or more. Why? For bank relationships. Okay. Building bank relationships. We have a list of 9,500 banks out there, every single one nationwide. And we have it state by state in order from top to bottom, which ones are giving out the most funding. All right, it's very critical. It's crucial. So therefore, you stop wasting time with all the banks that aren't going to be great, that aren't giving out great funding. And then we go after no docs or very low docs. Okay, something like not tax returns, more stated income. There's certain thresholds. You can't ask for $1 million from this bank because they're going to ask for documentation. And they would love for you to prove it so that they can label it as low risk and they give you funding. But if you can't prove it, then you're going to get denied. But they do have a threshold. Each bank has a certain dollar amount that they feel comfortable. Some are 10,000, some are 20,000, 25, 50, 100,000, 150,000, 250,000. Each bank is different. But when you ask for above that threshold, that certain dollar amount, then they require documentation. We want to do under that. Okay. So just keep that stuff in mind. It's going to help out drastically. What's your utilization? But you do need money to keep into some of these banks to be able to move around. Have we helped people with no money? Of course we have. Does it help if you have money? Of course it does. Why? Because you can move money around. You can keep the balances better. You can move stuff and shuffle it. It can help out in many ways. Okay. Utilization. Make sure that your current utilization on the personal side is 0 to 29% max. If it's above that, can we help you? Yes, we can. We have creative different techniques and strategies to move debt around and really position you properly. But once it gets above like 65, 75, 80%, it makes it much more difficult and it takes longer. So ideally, the worst case scenario is you're at like 50% utilization. We can help you get out of that within 30 days. Okay, we can help you do that, 30 to 60 days max. But ideally on your own, if you're already at 0 to 29%, you're in a position to get funding and we can help you with that. Okay. So who's this for? Let's dial this in. Number one, we can show you our whole elevator pitch. Our tagline is how to get up to $500,000 with interest rates as low as 0%. All right. We've been doing this for a very long time. Our average is $370,000 per member. Okay. We've helped out over 4,000 members since 2017. But again, I've been doing this since 2011. And then the goal is to get up to 90% approval odds. We've had incredible results with higher than that, but there's no reason in the world why you can't get that. After you get all this funding, what do you do with it? You could work with us. Right now we're doing ground up construction and we're literally building for $300 a square foot. But it's worth at the end of the day $900 a square foot. Okay? We've been doing real estate a long time, 60 plus transactions since the last 11 years. And trust me, you can do this stuff with us and get inspired, get educated, and be able to implement these things after 1 or 2 times of investing with us on a safe, guaranteed return that we are personally guaranteeing and giving you the primary and interest back in short time frames. So many different ways. So if you're a member, you can do that with us, which is excellent. Now, how this all works. At the end of the day, it's a 4-step process. Number 1, it's the foundation. Number 2 is fixed. 3 is build. 4 is leverage. The foundation is very simple. It's not just about your FICO score. If you're taking notes right now, which we do encourage, write that down and circle it. It's not just about your FICO score. In fact, it's the exact opposite. We've helped people with low FICO score, 600s, still get massive amounts of funding if they have documentation. If not, then you're going to want to fix your FICO score, right? And the cool part is everybody needs fixing. All right. I'll talk about that in a moment, but it's not just about your FICO score. There's 45 different metrics. There's different rules to the game. This is like real life Monopoly. Okay. But it is the checklist of what underwriting is looking at these banks on your credit profile. They're checking off, does this person pass? Does this person pass? Is this good? Is this safe? Does it make sense? So 45 different rules they're looking at. That's their checklist. We have it for you. Nobody else in the space has that. Okay. So once you understand how they're judging you, and then we give you creative solutions to be able to improve all those, you're not getting a bunch of red flags. You're getting green check marks. Everything's good. This person fits exactly within our box of lending. That's great for you. That's incredible news. See, the banks, what you're going to want to understand is the banks want to lend to us. They need to lend to us. Okay. If they don't lend to us, they go out of business. The difference is they're looking for high risk and low risk. We teach you the low risk, how to position yourself as low risk. Okay. So this is the rules to the game. Next is the fixed piece. Everybody's got to do some fixing. I don't care if you're in the 300 club. That's as low as it goes, by the way. I had somebody say I was at 0. You weren't at 0. You were at 300. Worst case scenario. I've seen it a few times. It's very, very, very rare. Most likely you're at 400, 500, So anyway, as low as 300 to 850, right? I don't care if you're at 800 or 300. It doesn't matter. Just know that obviously if you are at 700s and below, 600s and below, you know that you need some fixing, right? Not anything new. You probably have some late payments, derogatory delinquent, maybe high utilization, hard inquiries, whatever it may be, public records. We can help you with all that stuff. All right. But if you're at 700s and above, you might think, Brandon, I don't need any fixing. The good news is you do, but it's only going to take 5 minutes on each bureau. TransUnion, Equifax, Experian, it can take 5 minutes. We have online techniques, strategies, ways to call in, ways to send in, but it can be quick, fast, 5 minutes on each bureau, and you're good to go. After the fixing is done, we'll show you build, which is very simple. We'll show you how to opt into pre-screening. We'll show you how to boost up your score to the 800 FICO Club in 30 days or less after the fixing is done. Guaranteed, step-by-step how to do so. It's very simple. Once you're in the 800 Club, you can stay there. That's the good part. You stay there. Okay, I've been in the 800 Club for 8-9 years. I also haven't had a hard inquiry in 8 or 9 years. Doesn't mean that I haven't had one, just means that I haven't left it on there. I've always removed it. Okay, and you can too. And then that's where we put our mass apply together. A mass apply is simply an application sequence. Others out there will call it like a credit stacking. We're not stacking credit. We're not credit stacking. We are doing a mass apply, which is an application sequence. When done correctly, you can get up to 90% approval odds when doing it correctly. Get the highest limits possible and the best terms and conditions. Okay, you're literally putting anywhere from 10 to 50 plus applications in the right order. The 0% interest is anywhere from 6 months to 24 months, but on average, very common to see 18 months. And the good news is you can get extensions on that 0%. You can repeat it every 6 months per person and get more. You can roll it over. See, the banks want you to mess up. When they give you one of those 0% interest opportunities, they assume down the road, especially for those doing it on their own, they're going to mess it up one day. And that's when the banks will get paid a lot of interest. So they're going to keep giving it to you. You take it 1 or 2 times, they're going to feed it to you like a dog all the time because they want you to jack it up. When you're with us inside of Credit Counsel Elite, we make sure you don't jack it up. All right. But after you get all your mass apply and you get, anywhere from 10 to 50 plus applications approved, 90% approval odds, highest limits, you're getting 3, 4, 500,000 plus. You'll do it on business side, then you'll switch over, you'll do it on personal side, same exact thing. And then after that, we teach you how to position yourself for non-PG, no PG. Okay, non-PG funding, not personally guaranteed funding. It's pretty lucrative what that can do for you and dialing in the process. After you get all this funding, and we literally give you a list of 160 business trade lines, it's incredible. It's like it really sets you up for tremendous success. Then lastly, we'll show you how to liquidate it into cash that you can use by leveraging it. So leverage, we'll liquidate it into cash. We'll actually show you infinite banking structures through life insurance, becoming your own bank. We'll show you investing with real estate with us. We'll show you other investment opportunities as well. And we'll talk about your goals, your ideas, your business. How do we actually capitalize off of it and grow and scale it faster, safer, wiser, leveraging? Like, what's your biggest opportunity? And how do we maximize that, right? And then we'll show you trust setup, bookkeeping, tax filing, tax preparation. Why? Because Uncle Sam is going to be your biggest enemy at a certain point when you start making money as a beginning entrepreneur, because he can come in and knock on your door and try to take half of it. Also, you got a target on your back because now you're making money and you know how to get capital. So you got to protect yourself with trust setup and so forth. Okay. But we have credit lawyers, real estate lawyers, trust lawyers, all that stuff dialed in for you at your ease to be able to implement and utilize to succeed. And then lastly, we show you travel hacking, because many people out there aren't doing it properly. They're spending way too much. If they are using points, they're just pissing it away by getting a 1-for-1 ratio. We can get you and show you step by step how to get 7 to 21x return off your points. So again, the real difference between us and the traditional funding companies out there versus Credit Counsel Elite, it's very simple. Some of those jokesters out there will charge 10, 20, 30% on back-end fees, okay? Get paid for one round, one person, just one time. You're literally just renting the system, Okay. And it's with somebody else that doesn't care about your family, your future, your finances, your business. They don't care about any of that stuff. They're playing the numbers game. They're just running through it. Right. So you leave with a bunch of hard inquiries, damaging your score. You mess up some of those bank relationships by getting lower limits and them just not caring. Right. You're not taught how to actually fix your own credit profile yourself. So you don't learn the process to be repeated ongoingly. And then when you want more capital later, guess what? You have to pay again and again. Okay. So it's not good. It's like a drug addict coming back to the dealer. No bueno. Not good. All right. So Credit Counsel Elite, we never do any back end fees. Never, ever, ever. We don't do any of that stuff. We teach you the repeatable process of getting 0% capital and doing it every 6 months per person. Highest limits possible, best terms and conditions, you name it. Understand how to strengthen, protect, and leverage your own credit profile. Learn how to fix your own credit from what's hurting you and boost up your score to the 800 club in 30 days or less. Build a skill set that can actually be repeated again and again for you, your family, your business partner, and so forth. You can do it for them. And you can repeat it every 6 months. This is a system that you can use for life. This is your business in a box, running it properly. Okay. Apply the same principles for you, your loved ones, like ongoingly. This is the big difference, right? So paying somebody else to do it, it can cost you an arm and a leg. Say if we charge 10%, just 10%, not 20, not 30, just 10%. We've had members hit $1 million in funding. That would be $100,000 right away that it would cost them. That's way too much to be in the negatives. You have to go out now with that other 900,000 and make a minimum of $100,000 just to get flat even. That's way too much pressure. That's too much pain. You don't need that. Okay? So trust me when I tell you, this stuff is here to set you up for tremendous success. Ryan here, he was able to get $467,000 in new funding. With one card, he got a $100K limit. Sense was able to get $300,000, 0%. He was able to jump into real estate. Ryan ended up scaling his business. He bought a bunch of equipment and he ended up scaling his business, buying inventory and keeping up for a seasonal type of business that is doing very well for him. Duncan is a brother from another from church. Love this guy. He got $650,000 in new funding. He ended up buying 3 rental properties in Ohio and ended up doing the BRRRR strategy on it, renovated it, rented it out, refinanced it, got all of his money back. He has a small mortgage on each one. They were cash flowing like crazy, $9,000 per property. And literally that's $27,000 a month he's collecting and just doing student homes and just doing like wild stuff. Incredible. So Mo here, he ended up getting $545,000 in new funding. And then he literally texted me a couple months later and said he ended up getting over $1 million in funding. Jaden, 19 years old, ended up coming to us and he had a 512 FICO score. In just 10 days, he was able to get up to an 810 FICO score, 512 to 810, almost 300-point increase in just 10 days. Okay. He messed up his credit when he was 19 years old, just 18 to 19, because it wasn't taught in school. The good news is he had that work ethic of still being in school. And what he did was he got 41 out of 43 applications approved, right? He literally had no business, no job, but what he did was start 3 businesses. He invested in real estate with us and made a great return. He bought his dream car, which scared the crap out of me, right? Typical young kid bought his dream car. That scared me, but he ended up taking this to the next level and renting it out on Turo and making great money. And then also he ended up doing an online clothing business and doing excellent Christian clothing line business, which I love. Bill removed bankruptcy, late payments from Brian removed, Josh, more funding, doing his mass supply just in the beginning stages. Willie, points increased. Jessica removed things. Said it was scary at first, finally got it all done. Removed a bunch of hard inquiries in less than 24 hours. Stacy, 27 hard inquiries removed. Eric, 2 hard inquiries, 10 minutes it took, super easy. If you haven't done it yet, let's go. A bunch of Trustpilot reviews, 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars. You can see, we didn't start the Trustpilot reviews, but somebody else started it for us back in 2023, I believe. and a bunch of people have contributed over the years, which is awesome. We have a ton of them, but I can tell you this, that there's so many people out there that get incredible results in the community that we haven't taken advantage of, to be able to say like, hey, do you mind leaving a Trustpilot review, or could you do this? Could you do that? Like, we don't think about those things initially until just the last like couple of months we're starting to prioritize it. But we didn't have those systems built in. We cared more about just get results. So very few people are very bold enough to say like, man, I got to tell everybody about this online. Instead, they'll just tell it to other people and word of mouth will spread. Right? Which is great. That's, word of mouth and referrals is what we've lived on for a very long time. We didn't start running ads until 2021, 2022. It was all word of mouth. And we've helped out this many people, so it's been pretty incredible. But I can tell you that all of this, like, there's so many people out there that don't necessarily feel comfortable of like leaving reviews and stuff like that. They just want to enjoy the presence and get these results. But we still have a boatload of all these reviews at the end of the day. Like, people still love us. We still have tons of video testimonials and so much more. And then I've been on plenty of podcasts, over 100 different podcasts. This was in Times Square doing a live interview on Ticker News Station. This is different events that I've spoken at on stage next to people like Ty Lopez or Jerome Maldonado, the Quack Brothers, bunch of awesome people. Been on high level podcasts as well, and different news stations and radio shows. Been in Yahoo Finance for real estate, utilizing, you probably guessed it, credit to buy real estate. A bunch of different platforms, hundreds of podcasts I've been on. We've held and hosted our own events in person as well as in different countries even. And we've been writing in Forbes on, you guessed it, how to be able to utilize credit, business credit, to purchase real estate. Again, many different places. You can click on any of these to search, watch, listen, and high level locations where we've been able to do some wild stuff. And then, of course, our podcast right here that you can always subscribe to, listen, check it out, leave a review, which we always encourage. It's one of the top 1.5 podcasts globally. We've done it since 2018. And some of our mentors and guests that we've had on the podcast as well. Our book, Action Driven, right here. And then, of course, our story, how Jen and I broke, busted, disgusted. I'm from New Jersey. Jen is from here, San Diego. We were working just restaurant jobs, something that we weren't happy with, just serving people. And we were just broke. I was in debt and I was trying to get away from stinking thinking people and start taking myself out of it. At the end of the day, I grew up American poor, and so did she. And we didn't have a silver spoon in our mouth, but we did have drive. I grew up on Section 8, food stamps, powdered milk, help from local schools and Social Security for payments to raise 3 kids. And my mom being single parent mother, like manic depressive bipolar, like it wasn't easy growing up, but we've been able to be determined to succeed. And this is what has happened and taken place over the years. We've been able to buy a ton of real estate and take down a bunch of territory and host badass events, be able to travel the world. The travel hacking has been incredible. We literally can get 7 to 21 extra turn. So for any flights, car rentals, or hotels, we're not paying for any of it. But did you hear that? Like, we're not paying for any of it. Got the light coming in. So we're not paying for any of it, but we are implementing these things by leveraging our points. We're not pissing them away. We're getting anywhere from 7 to 21 extra turn off of our points. And so this is the Emirates flight right here that, lay down experience, Don P special edition, caviar, bar in the back, as you can see. You get a shower on board, caviar, shower on board, like you name it, wild stuff, like butler service. You got stars in the headrest and everything that other people pay $30,000 for, traveling the world, $30,000 for. Or if they use points 1-for-1 ratio, they were paying 3 million to 5 million points. Crazy. We have literally paid 80,000 points. Like, kind of a big difference, right? Kind of a big deal. And you guys can too. I got 7 million points. I can't spend enough. I stack them up. We've been able to meet amazing people, network like Robert Kiyosaki, Busta Rhymes, Tom right here. He was the owner and founder of Quest Nutritional Bar, sold for over $1 billion. Kent Clothier, a bunch of amazing human beings. These guys in the middle here, they sold their business for 50 million, 100 million, like wild stuff. And it's all because of investing in ourselves and getting around high level individuals. And our core values are faith, family, determination, being accountable or accountability, community, and impact. I believe in these to my core. That's why they're our core values. We set up our business as a for-purpose business, meaning 10% of gross income that comes in from the very top, we give right away. We give right away and it comes back like a boomerang. But we're able to give to nonprofits that we believe in and support. And it's been incredible to see the overall breakdown. And so these are some of our packages. The Credit Legacy, which is for 1 month. This is our 90-day challenge for obviously 90 days, but it breaks down the banking relationships, the contacts. We give a member success manager, accountability partner, you name it. Like, this is our most popular in the middle. And then our inner circle, it's for bosses, it's for business owners that want everything that I'm talking about here, not just one piece or another, like everything. So I want to encourage you to realize that there is more to all of this. This is a premium product. This is a premium service. This isn't the Honda or the broken down, used and abused system. This is for excellence, right? And so our guarantee is very simple. It's our pledge. It's our warranty. We stand behind it and we want to work with you. As long as you have a positive mindset and you're willing to play full out and meet us halfway, we're here to help you at the end of the day. So we're here to work with you and until you're happy, satisfied, and a raving fan. We want to make sure that you're playing full out and getting the results because we know that they work. And so we got a bunch of frequently asked questions that you guys can all go through any of this at any given time. But we always recommend that at the end of the day, you are taking this serious and that you realize that it does take 30 minutes a day. How much time does this take? It takes either 30 minutes a day or to keep that momentum or 5 hours per week, right? Can we get non-PG type of credit? Yes. Can we teach you how to get it? If you get denied or you done? No, we teach you how to keep going and get it overturned. How much funding can you get? How much learning can you understand is the question. It takes understanding the process, the 45 different rules. The more that you understand that, the more that you'll be able to implement it. So it's broken down into 3 pieces. The overall, 45 rules, the banking relationship, number 2, how strong is that bank relationship? And then lastly, what you say on these applications. All that stuff matters. And so we want to make sure that you fully understand that and that you are set up for success. So anyway, again, if you are serious behind this, what I want you to do is if you have more questions, you can go to cceevents.live/call. I would be honored to sit down with you and have a conversation, see what your thoughts are, what questions you might have, and make sure that you are set up for massive amounts of funding. This is what it will look like when you get there. There's a couple questions to ask just to see if it is a good fit and not to waste your time. But again, the things that you're going to want to realize is that price is what you pay, values what you get at the end of the day. Price is what you pay, values what you get. I got to stop this. This is driving me crazy. All right. So price is what you pay, values what you get. If you're looking for the cheapest stuff, that's just not us. And we pray that you get the support and the hopes and prayers of what you are investing in or put money towards, that you do get the return that you'd like. But I can tell you this, we're not all the same. We're not all the same. A lot of these guys, they've started up the last 1 or 2 years, just the last couple of years. They might have come from us, learning it from us, okay? And whoever they learned it from, God bless them. But I can tell you that it's evolved like cockroaches popping out everywhere. Look at the fruit on their life, okay? Whenever I hire on mentors, I always ask, cool, what does this person have that I don't? Can I learn from them, right? And the person doesn't need to have it all perfect in all areas. Not at all. Like, I go to my trainer and my gym trainer because he's fit as hell. I'm not going to him for anything else, not finances, not relationships, not anything else. You know what I'm saying? I go to him for working out. For finances, I go to myself really, but I also have a couple other mentors and guidance with that. For business, I have my one mentor. There's different people in my circle that I'm focusing on to be able to make sure that that is all dialed in properly, right? And so we have $14 million worth of real estate assets. We've been in business for a very long time, over 10 years, 11 years now. You know, there's multiple different businesses that we've started. We've had ups and we've had downs. We've lost a bunch of money too in certain things, okay? Now we are doing ground up construction for real estate and love it. We've been in states like obviously Arizona and in California, obviously, but New York, Ohio, and New Jersey. And we got rid of everything except Arizona and California. But at the end of the day, like, who is this for? This is for you if you're serious about learning a technique and a strategy that can serve you, your family, and your future for life, like forever. You know, for your business partners, like if you are tired of having to worry about the finances and missing out on deals, most people wait to look for money until they have something like some kind of deal. It's already too late. You're at a desperate standpoint at that point. Don't do that. I really caution you, do not do that. But when you focus on the first part of figure out all this finances, get the funding. It's not all just credit cards. It's all types of financial products, over 400 different products that the banks offer. Of course, the credit cards are only going to be, the 0% interest is only going to be in credit card form, okay? Unfortunately, they're not giving out mortgages at 0% interest. Man, would that be amazing, right? But at the end of the day, you can get the highest limits and best approval odds, so you're not wasting time, you're not winging it with any financial products that these banks offer. They all want to lend to you. We'll teach you how to say the right thing so you fit right in the middle of their box of lending, right? So this will save you money, make you money. When you're travel hacking, again, we're not paying for flights, car rentals, or hotels. The only thing you have to pay for when travel hacking is literally food and fun, the entertainment and the food. I'm okay with both of those. Jen and I were just in the French Alps about a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, with a bunch of other friends and entrepreneurs that all just flew in and said, hey, we want to do this for the next week and a half. You guys want to come in and go to the French Alps? We said, yeah, let's do it. First class flight, hotel, everything paid for. Okay, points. And you guys can too. We spent less, I think it was definitely less than $1,000. It was like $300 for the massages. They're cheap, affordable massages. We got several of them. We got like 4 of them or 3 of them. It was very cheap. And then maybe it was $400 for the massages. And then after that, the food, it was, I don't know, it wasn't much. It was a couple $100. You know, so it was all less under $1,000. And we were there for like 10 days. And then we're about to go to Egypt. We're about to go to DC for a couple days, check out all the monuments because I've never done that. And then we're going to Cairo for Egypt because I've always wanted to see the pyramids. So we're going because we can. And then we're going to Kenya, Africa for a safari tour for 10 days. You know, and all of that is we're paying just for the food and the experience, the fun stuff, like not the hotels, not the car rentals, and not the flights. Okay, we're doing it all first class. It's going to be incredible. So you guys can do the same exact thing. You'll have more money to go further. Most people are spending $10,000 on all this stuff naturally. They're doing it in economy and it sucks. And you have to show up hours before the flight because you got to stay in that long line. Instead, you could get first class. You just cut the line. You get right to the front. I'm in and out within 20 minutes, 10 minutes, really, all the time. And so we get there 30 minutes before, we go through security in 5-10 minutes. And then after that, we go to the lounge for free, get a bunch of snacks, get food, drinks, and then peace out. You know, and we get on the plane first, we settle in and relax and good to go. They just treat you better. It feels better. Okay. Overall, you got to realize that you're already overpaying that. Like you're already paying for all this anyway. You could pay 15 grand with us, 35K with us, or 7,500, 5K, 2,500, 50K. It doesn't matter. You're already paying this if you're not using us. You're paying us by wasting money with some other Tom, Dick, and Harry. You're paying for this with higher interest rates. You're already paying for this because banks are making more from you and you don't realize it. The bank's already making enough off you and you don't need to give them more. They average anywhere from 500 to 3,000% off of you and I. They don't need more. You've given them enough, okay? The annual fees that you're paying on your credit cards, you don't need to pay them. There's techniques and strategies to be able to get that credited back. Did you know that? You don't know that. Did you know that you can get free cash from just opening up a bank account or getting these credit cards approved? A lot of our members are getting $5,000 to $17,000 in free cash. Did you know that? If they can do it, don't you think you could? Jaden, that 19-year-old, he got $17,000 in free cash. Not bad, right? If he can do it, you can do it. It's crazy. So understand you're already paying for this. You're wasting your precious, valuable time. You're getting denials and you stay with that. You don't overturn it. You don't get it overturned. You don't know what to say. You don't know how to position yourself. So you get automatic denials. You're paying for the car rentals, the hotels, the flights. You're wasting time in the lines. You're missing out on the free cash. You're passing up on the deals that are passing you by. There's certain home runs that come by every once in a while, maybe once a year, maybe once every couple years. Home runs where you'll make $500,000 or a couple million. You're not prepared or positioned for that. But guess what? Guess who is? Members inside Credit Counsel Elite, where we can get more creative, more strategy because we're sitting with peace for the last year, staying focused, and we have the capital ready at our fingertips. It costs us nothing. We know how to get more of it. So when a good deal comes around, I can beat out 20 other offers in a moment like that because I've been sitting with peace and I've been sitting with all this creativity because the money is not the problem anymore. The deal is finding the right deal and I can be patient. So when everybody else is offering, hey, $5,000 down, a ton of contingencies, close in 60 days, and maybe one or two people come in with, hey, I'll do $20,000 down or $10,000 down and less contingencies and close in 30 days. We'll do all cash, no contingencies, close in 5 days, and the earnest money deposit, I'll just put the whole thing up. Whether it's $1 million, whether it's $100,000, whatever, it doesn't matter. I'll put the whole thing up just to show you how serious I am and that I will be closing on this property in 5 days. You cool with that? Like you got to put yourself in the position of the seller. All they want is a clear deal that it's not going to fall apart. They trust you. They just want, so I get discounts. I get discounts because of that certainty. You can take all this money now and not have to ever worry about it and do it quick. And if I don't do it, you take all my money and then you literally go back to these other guys that are in line and you get into contract with them. Again, our guarantee is to serve you. It's our pledge. It's our warranty. You have nothing to lose, so much to gain. We're here to serve you. All this is a business tax write-off, by the way. And just imagine 12 months down the road, what would life look like being a part of Credit Counsel Elite? I can tell you for Duncan, he ended up getting a bunch of real estate. He ended up getting the confidence and boldness to do it. Sense did the same thing. He was working at an engineer job in LA and he was desperately trying to get into real estate. He got the capital to do so after going to a bunch of other companies that sucked, and then he got the results and he started getting a bunch of real estate. Cash flow, start changing your life. I can't tell you how many times we've seen this. I've helped out people with $285,000 worth of bad debt, get it hidden within 60 days and hide it down to 0% utilization. So their score bounced back up and they got a bunch of funding. I have another guy with over $1 million worth of bad debt and he thought he had to file bankruptcy and just call it quits and just call it a day. And no. We were able to show him, hey, give me 12 to 18 months. It's only been 7 months. I've been showing him how to fight the process and get everything removed. And he's already removed 600,000 of it already. He's down to 400,000. It's only been 7 months. Well on track to be that 12-month mark. So I'm telling you, when there's a will, there's a way. If you're tired of missing out on opportunities, if you want the real deal, if you want a member success manager, accountability partner, we have 30 employees that we've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on to be able to be educated, prepared, and mentored by some of the best in the industry to learn how to fulfill on our members. So we're giving a white glove, excellent type of service to over deliver for you. That's my goal. That's my passion. I want to see this become easier, simpler, better, faster, excellent results. I want to take away the pain and the frustration. But let me not kid ourselves here, okay? There's no magic feather. There's no magic, fat loss quick pill. There's no Instagram success model overnight. There's not. I'm sorry to break the bad news to you. There's not. Okay? You cannot outsource your push-ups. I'll repeat that. You cannot outsource your push-ups. Although God knows you and I would love that. All right? But you can't. But you can hire on a nutritionist. You can hire on an accountability partner. You can hire on a trainer. You can get blood work done and dial in the whole process. Take the right nutrition to be able to maximize your results, right? You can get a dream team around you who've already been there and done it. Just think of it like an Olympic gold medal winner, right? How did they do it? They're not doing it solo. They're not hiring on the cheapest. They're not being around broke, busted, disgusted people that have never exceeded in anything else except their one credit business that they're selling you for $5. Just ask yourself that. How long have they been in business? What is their average results? Ours is 370,000. How well are they putting their money where their mouth is? How much funding do they really have? Or are you getting on these calls with sales reps that don't care about your situation, that aren't implementing it themselves? Just ask yourself that. Does it make sense? We actively are doing real estate. We're actively doing businesses. I'm very passionate about this game because it absolutely wrecked my life. It changed it for life. I've been able to purchase homes for family members. I've been able to bless certain family members, and not on just my side, but Jen's side as well. Been able to travel the world and live life on demand the way that God called it to be. And so I'm very grateful. This is part of our ministry to be able to give back and show others how to do the same exact thing. But there's only so much time in the day. There's only so much willpower. You got to pay attention. I do believe in that. I've always invested a boatload of money into myself, into my future, into my finances, into my business, into my mindset, getting around the highest level people that I aspire to become and to be able to be leveled up into. But it always takes some coin. It always takes a top dollar that scares the hell out of you. But guess what? Sometimes it's that boomerang effect. There's the ebb and flow. You got to invest in yourself, get into that high level room, and naturally get pulled up. You're eliminating and taking ownership of fear. You're canceling out fear. Fear comes from the lack of education. See, when I was growing up, I put fear above all the time. I put money on a pedestal. I put rich people, they were the almighty. They were the best of the best. It's all BS. They don't have it all figured out. Not at all. But they do know something. They do know something I don't, right? A billionaire definitely knows something that I don't. So I want to spend some more time with them. I want to figure it out so I can have discernment, so that I can have wisdom, so that I can get around some people. Sometimes success isn't always taught. Sometimes it's just caught. Like, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, right? We've heard all of that. So who are you spending the most time with? Is it broke, busted, disgusted people that don't have anything good to say? Are they Netflixing and chilling all day? Are you Netflixing and chilling all day? Are you scrolling all day? You got to ask yourself these things, Don't be the sheep. Start understanding, like, hey, there's opportunities out there. How bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? So I just encourage you to realize that. Just imagine, just picture this, 12 months down the road after being here at Credit Counsel Elite, how life can be different, how you can learn the rules to the game. This is real life Monopoly. When you're playing the board game Monopoly and you pass go, you're supposed to collect what? $200. We all know this. It's in our DNA, even if it's been a long time. But if you forget the rules because it's been a long time, or you got distracted, people talking to you, usually you're going to have good people you're playing with that says, hey, don't forget your 200, right? But if you're playing with savages that want to win, they're going to say, shh, don't tell him. In 2 more rounds, he's out, And that stuff is important. So that's the rules to the game. If you don't know the rules, how can you play? Just know that you are playing right now. You're alive. You're doing well. You're watching this, It could be worse. Could be in Timbuktu somewhere with no money, no nothing. Even over there, they probably have some iPhones, right? It's crazy. It's just priorities. But understand this, like, when there's a will, there's a way. So focus on this stuff. Focus on what could change your life and be determined to succeed. But understand, like, When you stop putting money on a pedestal, it stops controlling you like a puppet, like a puppet. You put money underneath you and allow it to do what it's supposed to. Put it to work. Have it come back like some workers. Tenfold, right? Like a boomerang. And understand all this is a tax write-off. You got nothing to lose, so much to gain. Pay with a credit card. Don't send me a wire. Pay with a credit card. Get protection, get points, get close to that limit so that we can get credit limit increases afterwards. It buys you time, 30, 45, 60 days. It gives you time. It allows us the opportunity to show up and show off with quick wins in a powerful way. But I just want you to stop sleeping on this. I want you to stop realizing, like, stop thinking that from a 30,000 foot view or a mile view back that we are the same as anybody else out there for funding, for credit, for no, we're not. Nothing the same. We've been doing it much longer. We get better results. We have a bigger community, a better family community. We do all of it. We teach you the rules that nobody else is doing. We're teaching you because they don't know it. We're teaching you the fix. We're teaching you to boost your score up, stay in the 800 club, teaching you business credit, personal credit, how to get up to 90% approval odds. Anybody doing that? Nobody. How to be able to get the highest limits possible? Nobody. The best terms and conditions? Nobody. All types of products, not just credit cards? Nobody. Liquidating cards into cash? We have our own liquidation service. We have our own real estate and then other investment opportunities for you. Tax filing, tax preparation, you name it, travel hacking. Nobody's doing it all in one, okay? And we have it dialed into a T. So anyway, I love you guys all so much. I say it with passion because I know what it can do for you. And literally for next to nothing, for as low as $5,000 down, you can get involved in Credit Counsel Elite. You have nothing to lose. I'm saying nothing to lose. Seriously. Stop screwing around on this. Watch what it can do for you. Invest in yourself. Bite the bullet. Get the tax write-off. Like, I'm telling you what it could do. I pray that you stop sleeping on this because your family is looking at you for this. Your family is wanting something bigger and better out of you. And you are the one within your family. I know that because I'm the one within my family. And I'm the one that's constantly watching and investing in myself like this. And so if you're watching this, it's like, I know that you're the one within your family, right? People count on you. When things go bad, they're leaning on you. So just know that when there's a will, there's a way. All right. And if you want to go further, faster, and not stumble through it, all by yourself, you can fail forward with us and we can help you get to excellence a heck of a lot quicker, saving you time, money, resources, get sign up bonuses, you name it. It literally pays for itself. You got nothing to lose, so much to gain. And just imagine 12 months down the road, we're all on vacation, travel hacking together, building businesses together, doing wild things together and cheersing, watching the sunset, doing some crazy stuff with our families and making the impact, making the money, having life designed the way that God intended it and the way that you deserve to have it. Okay. You worked too hard to get to this point to just come this far. You understand me? You've come this far, not to just come this far. There's more to it. So I love you guys all so much. Again, what you can do to book a call with us is very simple. Go to CCE, that's Credit Counsel Elite, that's CCE events, EVENTS, events.live, LIVE/call, CALL. So again, CCE events.live/call. Punch that in your browser right now, jump in, book a call. I'll literally get on a free call with you, complimentary, 20, 30 minutes, straight to the punch. As long as you are a good fit, I'm here to help you. I'm talking as long as you're 700s and above, you have a business, you have goals, you have ambition, you have desire, you want to take down more. As long as your credit score is 700 above, as long as your lowest credit card limit is above 1,000, as long as you have 10 to 20,000 saved up, ideally, either in retirement or saving somewhere, like you have access to something that you can put into some bank relationships and build something. It will help out. As long as your utilization is 0 to 29%, all this is going to help. As long as you realize that it is going to cost you, it's an investment into yourself. It's not going to cost you anything. It's a cost of doing business, but it is going to be a premium service to get premium results. So you can stop wasting time with any other jokers out there. You can get the real sauce, the real value, something that can bless you in many different ways, and I can't wait to do that with you. So anyway, love you guys all so much. If you have not already subscribed to Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast, do that right now. I don't know what you're waiting for. Do that right now. Hit the subscribe button. That's Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast. Hit that subscribe button. You'll get the newest notification every single Monday. Leave a 5-star review after that. Greatly appreciate all the love and support. You guys are amazing. Keep that up. Share this out. And you can check out creditcounselelite.com as well. Play around on there. Otherwise, check us out. Otherwise, just go book a call with us. Go into cceevents.live/call. And then also follow me on Instagram. It's Brandon Elliott Investments. Or you could go to our business page, Credit Counsel Elite on Instagram, and just DM me there and say, hey, listen to the podcast, and like it, thumbs up, down, whatever, like whatever we can do. We want to love on you. We want to meet you where you're at and literally just have a conversation of what are your goals? Where are you trying to go? How realistic is it? Where are you currently at? What obstacles do you see ahead of you? Like, let's get this roadmap to be able to get you to the end as soon as possible. All right. And we'll give you some real expectations and time frames. And again, just imagine what it could be in 3 months, in 6 months, in 12 months, working alongside with Credit Counsel Elite, how much life could be different. Anyway, love you guys all so much. Have a blessed day, and we will catch you on the next one. Till then, God bless. Peace out.
This has been another episode of Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast, brought to you by Brandon Elliott. For more information, please visit BrandonElliottInvestments.com. Also, please don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment below. Thanks again for joining. Until next time, God bless.